been a wonderful partner for us, not only this election cycle, but in previous election cycles as well. And so we're delighted to be here at the downtown location before they close this particular space for renovation. We are going to hear from each candidate. We'll hear first from the mayoral candidates, then from the 5 candidates running for the 3 at-large spots on the city council, and then finally from the district candidates for District 1 through District 6. And we hear first from Democrat James Mueller.
Good evening. Thank you to the American Democracy Project, the League of Women Voters, and the St. Joseph County Library for hosting this event. It's good to see all of you here with the fall's municipal elections just around the corner. I'm James Mueller, and I was born in South Bend, grew up on the east side of the city, just down the street from the zoo. As the youngest of 5 growing up, there was a sense that success meant getting out. I watched my older brothers and sisters go to St. Joe High School, graduate Notre Dame, and then move elsewhere for opportunities. So when it was my turn, I went to St. Joe, graduated Notre Dame, and then I moved to Delaware to get a doctorate in ocean science. And yes, I know there are no oceans in South Bend. But after many decades of decline, we've turned the corner. Our population is growing again. Our incomes are rising at a faster rate than the national average. Our poverty rate has started to decline, and the $1 billion of investment since 2015 are all around us. Most importantly, we have become a city that believes in ourselves once again. I'm running for mayor to build on our progress and make our community safer. We're going to get this done by creating more opportunities for everyone to thrive. In March, I released a 27-page plan for our next chapter. It included ideas for how to accelerate our growth, remove barriers to opportunity, and create an economy that works for everyone. It also outlined a vision for how to repair, rebuild, and reimagine our neighborhoods, and a plan to advance a cradle-to-career learning approach that sets up every child in South Bend for success. That plan was just the beginning. Please share your hopes and dreams for South Bend with me. I can't do it alone. No mayor can. I need all of your help to keep South Bend moving forward. We've had a bit of a rough summer as a community. While one shooting is one too many, we had seen some encouraging signs over the last few years from our community work and the group violence intervention program. As mayor, public safety will be my number 1 priority. Violence has no place in this city, and we all must double our efforts to stop the violence. Thank you. I'm proud to be the Democratic nominee for mayor, united in our core values, fighting for working families, and against racial and economic injustices. This is a critical moment in our city's history. The choice in this election is about what's going to happen in our next chapter. I firmly believe that South Bend's best days are ahead of us. Let's keep South Bend moving forward, and let's write this next chapter together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next we hear from Republican candidate Sharon Haas.
Thank you, League of Women's Voters, IUSB, everybody here. I think engaging in this process is one of the most important duties we have as citizens. Service is a passion I've had for most of my adult life. I joined the Army, served before 9/11 and during 9/11, as well as a tour of duty in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The experience of working with a diverse population of patriots and international citizens have afforded me perspectives that I never would have attained without serving my country. Through my family and career and education, I feel I've been called to serve the city I love in a new and challenging way. I want to be your mayor because I love my home and I want every single citizen to prosper. My view of government is simple. It should provide an environment that helps every person thrive, safe streets, infrastructure, and ensuring we have a well-educated workforce should be the priorities of government. But also, there needs to be a commitment to helping the most vulnerable parts of the population share in the prosperity of these efforts. I don't believe enough has been done by this administration. The praise heaped upon it fails to address the lack of development outside of downtown, wage growth amongst minorities, and jobs, especially in manufacturing, that have not materialized. Our streets are not safe, as evidenced by the spike in violent crime and shootings recently, but this is a trend that's been rising. Our officers' morale is down due to the lack of the support from this administration, something I don't see being remedied by the next person in line. I promise to support our officers and hold them accountable, but never deny them their constitutional rights. We need to build trust between them and our community, which is why I believe the body cameras are crucial. They validate good police work and hold to account bad actors. The Board of Public Safety needs to be augmented by 4 elected positions, 3 from the people at large, and 1 elected judge. Along with the 3 appointments from the mayor's office, this will bring buy-in from the community and bring trust to the process. I want a partnership with South Bend Community Schools and the city to focus on vocational training. Trade skills, especially in high demand, and I believe they hold the key to economic success as well as a safer city. The city has a vested interest in education, though no authority, so I want to be the biggest supporter I can in any capacity the school board will allow. I believe trade unions, private contractors, and a host of other businesses and entities in this community would be willing to help in this endeavor. It must become we above me, and modeling that example will be my focus. Lastly, more must be done to address the crumbling infrastructure. Another bloated salary has been proposed at the most recent budget meeting. We need to reevaluate our spending across all departments, make cuts, and consolidate when necessary. We need to ensure the city is providing the best streets, sewers, and sidewalks for its citizens, and fiscal responsibility is what I'm bringing to the table. A very small minority in this city have prospered for too long on the back of apathy. I plan to bring the reform necessary to make our city work for everyone, regardless of party loyalty or demographics. Let's get to work building the South Bend that I know we can be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now turn to our candidates for council at large. We will hear first from Republican Amanda Grove.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming out, and thank you to everyone that helped with organizing this event today. My name is Amanda Jean Grove, and I'm running for one of the at-large seats on the South Bend City Council. And I'm running because I love South Bend. I was born here, and I truly care about our communities. Our city is full of amazing and diverse people that deserve the best public servants to fight for them and to listen to them. I'm passionate about bridging the political party divide and uniting our city. My campaign slogan is one city, one people, all voices. So I care about hearing all opinions and concerns, even if they conflict with my own. Currently, my main focuses are economic development, infrastructure, public safety, and help for our homeless and drug-addicted communities. I believe that if we focus on economic development, that it will help with the issues of crime, homelessness, housing, and employment. I'm extremely zealous about improving South Bend's crumbling infrastructure because just like many others in our city, I need new shocks on my car from hitting so many potholes. Excuse me. As for public safety, my vision for South Bend is simple, that our residents don't have to feel fear when walking through our streets or shopping in our stores. Our homeless population and drug and alcohol addicted communities need our help. I hope to be able to implement plans for a new detox center in downtown, as well as a tiny home village for our homeless. This tiny home community would have to be monitored very closely to ensure the safety of its residents. But it has worked in other cities, and I don't see why it wouldn't work if done properly. Lastly, I want to mention that I truly appreciate all of the support that I have been shown during this exciting journey of running for a local office. I've already learned so much, and I truly hope that you will consider me while voting this November. I promise to represent all voices in our community, and I hope to unite our city. I look forward to chatting with you later at the reception and answering any questions you all may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Next, we hear from David Hackett.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. For 22 years, I've served in the military. For 15 years, I served as a police officer. And I've been married for 15 years and I have 4 children. My wife is an assistant principal at a local school in South Bend. My number 3 issues I want to tackle is poverty, safety, and education. Poverty. We're being left behind. We need to have something for our kids. Trade schools, that's why I hear Sean Haas is talking about. We need those. If you're not going to college, we need to have a trade school program within the South Bend Community Schools. Safety. 15 years I've been a police officer, crime is up in the city of South Bend. We need to address that now before it gets even more violent. And my last one was education. I still want to partner with the South Bend schools for our education, with trade schools. Thank you for having me. And if you want to talk to me, I'll be out in the hallway to discuss my plans further.
Thank you very much, David. Next, we hear from Lori Hammond.
Hello, and thank you all for coming and to the organizers of the event. My name is Lori Hammond. I was born and raised in Detroit in a strong Democratic pro-union household. I received a bachelor's degree in economics and government from Western Michigan University and a master's in education from Notre Dame. I'm a former business owner and business manager. I moved to South Bend more than 20 years ago, where I began my teaching career on the west side of the city. Currently, I'm in my 8th year of teaching economics and government at Marion High School. My husband, Mike, and I have 7 kids, and we just welcomed our 10th grandchild. If I have learned one thing from my experience as a teacher, business owner, parent, and grandparent, it is that every human person, no matter how rich or how poor, regardless of education, skin color, age, or sexual orientation, has dignity, a dignity that cannot be taken away. To that end, we as a community need to support the dignity of all children. That is why I will champion a citywide comprehensive program where babies are born healthy, children thrive and establish a strong foundation for life, and young people grow into happy, healthy adults. We as a community need to support the dignity of workers. That is why I am seeking partners in other cities and towns in Indiana to fight against a state legislature that uses preemption laws to prevent us from passing our own local minimum wage law. We as a community need to support the dignity of the homeless and those suffering from addiction. That is why I support establishing an outreach center for the homeless that needs to move from the back burner of the council agenda to the front. And finally, as a community, we need to support the dignity of city residents who feel forgotten and left behind. Many people in this community talk about how they enjoy the revitalized downtown, which a disproportionate amount of our resources have been focused on. I propose we realign our priorities and invest more in our neighborhoods, ensuring that our residents can achieve the safe and dignified life they deserve. Again, I'm Lori Hammond, and those are the reasons I'm running for South Bend Common Council at large. Vote on November 5th, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lori. Now we hear from Democrat Rachel Tomas Morgan.
Thank you. I am Rachel Tomas Morgan. My dad came to this country with $27 in his pocket. He was met with open arms and opportunity. He became a doctor and he raised a family. I am here tonight as a first-time candidate because I was met with open arms and opportunity. I am grateful to have received multiple endorsements, including that of Mayor Steve Lickey, and I am so honored to have earned 4,822 votes in the Democratic primary this spring. I believe that South Bend should be a place where everyone is met with open arms and opportunity. I believe in inclusive economic development for all. For 27 years, I have made South Bend home. With my husband, Pete Morgan, we raised our children on the west side, where I have served on the Northwest Side Neighborhood Organization. With 20 years of experience in strategic planning, project management, and budgeting, I work at Notre Dame's Center for Social Concerns, where I teach sustainable development and work with communities around the world to address today's most pressing problems. This past summer, our city leaders have been absorbed with attending to pressing, urgent problems. I too have been absorbed, studying how other cities have approached zoning, homelessness, and violence prevention. I attended the town hall in the wake of the shooting, as well as community action meetings on policing policies. I have been following the proposed zoning ordinance and participated in the 2020 budget hearings. I'm ready to get to work. On the Common Council, I will be bold, build on South Bend's resurgence, making smart investments and advanced development with attention to people, profit, and our planet. I will be fair, ensure that improvements extend to all neighborhoods across our city, and seek input from all stakeholders to make policies and budgets reflect community priorities. I will be focused on collaborative and evidence-based approaches to build transparent and efficient government for the common good. As an at-large council member, my job will be to represent all voices and the interests of all neighborhoods, businesses, and the 6 districts throughout the city. I, Rachel Tomas Morgan, seek your support for Common Council at large and your vote on November 5th. I believe in South Bend, and I believe in us. Together, we can build a South Bend where dreams are realized, opportunities are available for everyone, and all can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. And now we hear from incumbent Karen White.
Thank you. I would like to thank Dr. Bennion, the American Democracy Project, the League of Women Voters, and the St. Joseph County Library for hosting tonight's meet and greet the candidates. My name is Karen L. White, and as the ranking councilwoman, I am seeking re-election for an at-large position on South Bend Common Council. I've had the honor of serving as an elected servant for over 29 years. I was just a baby. And first on the South Bend Common Council, first as a member of the South Bend Community School Board of Trustees, and recently as a member of the South Bend Common Council. I am a product of this community. I'm a product of the South Bend Community School Corporation by way of the Lake and the West Side. I come from a family of 12 with little means. In fact, my grandmother would always remind me that we were dirt poor. But with a heart for the city, a city I love, and a city I'm proud to call home. I remember when, not long ago, my public service journey started when I went to college, where it was instilled in me that I had a responsibility to go back to my community and to work and to give back. I hit the ground running at that time. I'm seeking re-election for a number of reasons, one of which is that the 2019 elections will bring many changes for our city. Having an experienced and proven leader is very important as we continue to move forward. Over the years, and especially during the recent primary election, the residents called out loud and clear for more resources. I heard their call and I hit the ground running. I, along with members of the Residential Neighborhood Committee, the administration, the council, and you, our residents, also hit the ground running. We hosted 2 meetings entitled The Collective Power of Engagement and Intentional Collaborations. These meetings were very successful. In fact, on September the 16th, a historical event occurred. This was the first time, I believe, within the history of the budget hearings that a standing committee presented to and was part of the budget process. I'm pleased to stand before you today and to tell you that your needs were heard. We're beginning the process, but a number of the calls that you call for in terms of resources are part of the 2020 budget. I will continue my focus on the quality of life issues, and I will continue to host an educational series to ensure that you become more educated and involved in the budget process. Again, these are just some of the reasons why I'm running again. I really enjoy what I do. I have a passion. I am that very thoughtful, experienced, and proven leader. I ask for your support and your vote, but also remember that when we work together, we can get the job done, and we must hit the ground running.
I want to thank all 5 at-large candidates for being here this evening. We heard from 2 Republicans and 3 Democrats, all united in a common desire to make this city the best place it possibly can be for residents. We will turn now to the district candidates, and we will hear first from incumbent Tim Scott, representing Council District Number 1.
Thank you, Dr. Bennion. Thank you all for coming. I am unopposed, but I still seek your vote. I absolutely appreciate the job that I do. I'm thankful to be able to do it. The main concern that I've had has been quality of life issues. And that's the one thing that I've really taken from this, and appreciate the 8 years I've been on council, 2 terms, looking for my 3rd, is meeting with citizens, meeting with administration, meeting with everybody out there to understand what the issue is and come with a solution. If you look at my record and you look at the work that's been done, that's the thing. I work for a tier 1 automotive supplier, and our whole thing is process improvement within our department. I'm involved with a budget that's half the size of the city and half the number of the employees that the city has. So when you look at that, I've had 25 years of international business. I bring that to the council, and think about that when we're looking at our budget, which we're doing right now. But it's meeting all the folks out there just like you in the 1st District and beyond to try to come up with good solutions, good practical solutions that we can move forward with the city. As you look, within the 1st District, we've had over $168 million of new investment in manufacturing and distribution within that district, with 497 new jobs, just in the 1st District alone since I've been on council. So we need to look at that. We need to look not only increasing jobs within that, but what are we doing within our inner city as far as job development? And you look at that, the West Side business development, we're going to have CDFI loans coming soon. Those are the type of programs that's been going forward. That's the things that I've been involved with, and I continue to be involved with within the next 4 years. Listening to residents going, we need streetlights. Myself, Karen White, and the administration put together a program to bring 400 new streetlights to our city. And also within the first district, curbs and sidewalk program, to do a program where people don't have the necessities to do the infrastructure improvement. So we bring that. So there are 3 miles of new curbs and sidewalks within the city of South Bend for the residents that absolutely need it, because we're investing back into our city. So with that, I look forward to working with all of you. Love meeting people. I'll be out here later. So thank you, Tim Scott.
Thank you very much, Councilman. We'll now move to District 3. I believe that District 2 candidate Henry Davis Jr. is not here this evening. So we will move to Council District 3, and we will hear from incumbent Democrat Sharon McBride.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, League of Women Voters, to you, Ms. Bennion, all the time, and also to the American Democracy and the library for hosting this event. I am also excited to be a part of this event to learn more about things that are going on in the 3rd District. I am your 3rd District representative. I was elected during a special caucus in February of 2018, and ever since then, I've been working hard to connect the 3rd District. And it started again with a bus tour that we rode around the 3rd District to find out the disparities that was going on among the neighborhoods. And out of that, 2 parks were revitalized, Ravenna Park on the southeast side and also Randolph Park. We also have a facade grant to upgrade Mishawaka Avenue and Miami Street Avenue as well. So there's a lot of projects that we have had. We also have housing that has been built in the neighborhood. We have 2 homes currently on St. Joseph and Indiana Street. We have 5 more homes that are currently being built by 466 Works and our SOAR Neighborhood Association. And we have a lot of trees that have been planted by Bowman Creek. And so we are doing a lot of exciting things. We have United Way coming and bringing a daycare right on the corner of Dubell and Indiana as well. So when you're talking about revitalizing neighborhoods, I am a product of that being started in the 3rd District, and will continue to work hard to make sure that it continues as well. Also, we have did a lot of curb and sidewalks. If you are here and you're in the 3rd District and you need curbs and sidewalks, please contact me so we can get you added on to the next year's list to have repairs made as well. I have 11 schools in my district, so I am big on education, but it doesn't stop there. There are some people who choose not to go to school or do not have the means. We have to make sure that we are connecting with the unions and have trades and apprenticeships going on for people to get jobs and have equal pay and equal wages. So I will continue to strive with working with the trades and making sure that that happens. My full-time job, I'm the director of St. Joe County Community Corrections. So one of my passions is talking about restorative justice and a prison to pipeline project. So to keep people out of prison and to stop mass incarceration, those are things that I am big on to make sure that people can come home that have served their time and now be viable citizens in our community. So those are a lot of things I know in a short amount of time, but that's what my platform stands on, is connecting the 3rd District, connecting neighborhoods, and making sure that people have a nice, decent quality of life in the city of South Bend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now hear from the first of 2 candidates competing for your votes in Council District 4. There is no incumbent seeking re-election in District 4. And so we have a contested race. We hear first from Republican Tyler Killian.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. Thank you all for coming. It looks like about a third of the crowd is probably family and friends, so thank you all for listening to my monologues again. As Elizabeth said, I'm Tyler Killian, and I'm running to represent you all in the 4th District, which encompasses South Bend's northeast side. A little bit of background on me. I'm a 28-year-old businessman. I come from the high-powered worlds of Division I college football, where I was a coach for Indiana University and University of Kansas, and where I was an award-winning pharmaceutical sales rep when I moved back here after my sister battled and won against cancer. So that's how I ended up back here in South Bend. There you go. She's a champ. The background that I bring from both of those and the lessons that I learned are, it's high performance. You're either a performer or you're out. What you did yesterday doesn't really matter. I mean, that's the mentality that I would like to bring to council. What you did, I mean, I took many of these lessons and these experiences that are important, where you have to be honest and you have to get to the point. There's little room for error and even smaller time to accomplish what you've done. For example, when I was in pharmaceuticals, if you went to the doctor, would you want the doctor to sugarcoat your diagnosis and give you a wrong treatment option, or would you rather have him be blunt and tell you exactly what's going wrong with you and exactly what you need to do? Now that you know that how I approach problems, and I think it's time to call out what it is that I think that we need to change, and it's our crime problem. This is a real problem. This is something that will affect everybody, every single demographic, every single age group, every single race. It doesn't matter. South Bend really is in peril. Crime is out of control, and it's getting worse. Every economic plan that we pose here won't mean a thing unless we can get crime under control. We've had 100 people shot this year. 100. That's not a typo. 10 of whom have been killed. This is affecting everybody. And just in my district alone, 1 killed, 10 wounded at Kelly's Club just outside of it. 1 killed, 2 wounded at Corby's Bar. An IUSB student was shot on Notre Dame Avenue. He's paralyzed. He'll never be able to walk again. Nothing is being done. And not only that, the criminals are feeling emboldened. They know that the police force is weakening. They're being undercut by a mayor that is not supporting them how he should. He's off busy running a presidential campaign. We are literally a ship at sea without a captain. We need to bring back 40 police officers onto our police force. We've had 10 or 12 that have been shot at this summer, 10 have resigned, and another 64 out of 220 are eligible for retirement right now. That's unsustainable. So first things first, what we have got to do before we can address anything in economics is to make sure that our public safety is under control. Nobody's gonna move their business here, and nobody's gonna expand an existing business if crime is gonna be around the corner. At the root, this is really a cause of a lack of opportunity for our most vulnerable residents who have largely been ignored by City Hall for decades. They've seen their situations go from bad to worse, and little children are witnessing unspeakable violence, not just in the 4th District, but other districts as well. We need change in local government, a new era. I'm a young, energetic voice that will bring reform and bold ideas to council. Some of you have never voted for someone like me, and you may not like the party that I'm running for, but deep down, you might think that I have something that you can identify with. It's time we breathe a new life in the South Bend, and you can start by voting for me Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tyler. We hear next from Democrat Troy Warner.
Good evening. My name is Troy Warner. I am running to be an advocate for the citizens of the 4th District of South Bend. I've been an advocate throughout my career. I started my working career with the Laborers Union digging ditches, and then was fortunate enough to go on and become a union electrician with the IBEW and worked construction as electrician for about 12 years. I was then asked to come into the union office and be a business agent for the union. And I advocated for putting the local workers on jobs. I advocated for increased benefits and wages. I then went to law school and have been an attorney for 4 years. I've spent the last 4 years, I've worked as a public defender, advocating for indigent clients in misdemeanor court and for our youth at the Juvenile Justice Center, trying to come to outcomes that would change their lives and not put them right back in the street in the same situations that got them where they were. So that's why I'm running. I'm running to address the problems of crime and violence through my experiences. I currently also am the attorney for the county police and the sheriff. You'll find no bigger advocate for the police department than myself. I also am running to improve housing and neighborhood and developments and increase opportunities for affordable housing. So now I'm going to get to my call to action. So in like 7 days, we can start voting, right? You guys know that? So I'm a numbers guy. I've run campaigns for about 15 years now. I'm really good at picking out what the final numbers are. Right now, those two guys are going to be picked by about 4,000 to 5,000 people. So we have to get the word out. We have to let people know that there's an election coming up, that you can start voting in 7 days, and that there's an election in 37 days, because nobody knows about that. They're talking about things going on in Washington, D.C. and things going on in Iowa. So we need all of you to go out, tell your friends, tell your neighbors there's an election coming, get on social media. We need you, Mr. 1022, to let everybody know there's an election coming. And they can start voting in 7 days. Okay? Thanks, boss. Thank you, Troy Warner for District 4.
We will make an online voter guide, Vote 411, available before that early voting, or as the Secretary of State prefers, the absentee in-person voting begins. And the candidates are filling out those guides, and you can go to vote411.org. And in the next few days, that will be up and ready, and you can share that out with your friends, as well as the videos of statements that they've made tonight, and let people really become as informed as you are about these candidates and what they stand for. We will move now to Council District 5. This is another contested district, and we will hear first from Democrat Sandy Combs.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all those that hosted this event. Again, I am Sandy Combs, and I am the Democrat candidate for the South Bend Common Council 5th District. I've resided in the 5th District for over 43 years, and some of my involvement in public service include that I've previously served as the precinct committeeman for District 5, precinct number 17. I've also been a citizen member of the South Bend Common Council Economic Development Committee, a member and assistant secretary of the Redevelopment Commission, served on the Redevelopment Commission for 7 years. Previously served as the chairman of the Mayor's Council on Minority Affairs. I've been chairman of the Combined Democratic and Civic Club of St. Joseph County, chairman of the Hansel Neighborhood Services Center, which served as a grantee with oversight and responsibility for the Head Start program for St. Joseph and Elkhart counties. I have a master's of business administration from Indiana University at South Bend with a concentration in accounting and finance. I'm a self-employed business owner. I have an accounting and income tax preparation business. So and I'm still taking on clients, if anybody needs help with their taxes. I'm a semi-retired management accountant. I've worked in both the public and the private sector. My experiences include healthcare financial management, public housing financial management, manufacturing, accounting, and financial management in the automotive and the electronics industries. I've also served as a chief financial officer for a construction company in the building and construction industry. I have a strong, diverse background in financial management and accounting, and which I plan to put to good use in serving on the South Bend City Council. I believe in full financial disclosure and transparency. I also believe that those that are involved in spending taxpayer dollars should be good stewards and be responsible and accountable to the taxpayers. I have the expertise and the time and the desire to serve the taxpayers and residents on a full-time basis. Not so much as a politician, but more so as a public servant. So I ask for your vote on November 7th. I ask that you remember Sandy Combs. Vote for Combs. Vote for honesty. Vote for integrity. vote for fiscal accountability, vote for good government, vote for me, vote for Sandy Combs. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Sandy. We will hear next from Republican incumbent Jake Teshka.
I would agree that you should vote for Sandy on November 7th. I'll just put that out there. Election day is November 5th, and I hope to have your vote. Public safety, roads and infrastructure, and constituent services. Those three items have been my focus over the last year and a half that I've served on council, and will continue to be my focus if the good people of the 5th District hire me for a full 4-year term. As I've been out knocking on doors this summer, I've found that public safety is top of nearly everyone's mind. And how could it not be? It seems like every other day that we hear about another shooting or act of violence in our city. And those are just the ones that the media picks up on. We are on pace in 2019 to double the number of shooting victims as in 2018. The root causes of these issues are deep and systemic. They are related to poverty and mental health and lack of economic opportunity. For those, there are no quick fixes, but we need to, quite literally, stop the bleeding. Right now, our police department has a historically low number of officers on the street, and thanks to low morale, I'm told by leadership that that number could dip lower by the spring. Our low numbers have caused the elimination of the traffic unit, drug unit, and other specialized roles. The officers that are remaining are spread thin, working more overtime than is healthy, and spending the time on the job reacting to call after call, zigzagging across the city, rather than being able to focus on the kind of proactive, community-minded policing that actually stops crime to begin with. Our focus right now should be on building our department back up to the staffing level that is closer to that of the mid-1990s. As council, we have the power to do that with the budget process. At that staffing level, the brave men and women of the SBPD will, with the support of their leadership, be able to take on a more proactive approach to crime, getting illegal guns out of the hands of children, and intervening in gang disputes before they spill out into our streets. And speaking of streets, we have some bad ones, riddled with potholes and literally crumbling with each passing car. In his State of the City address, Mayor Buttigieg admitted that we are woefully behind when it comes to paving, and yet instead of increasing funding, the proposed budget this year actually decreases road funding by $1 million. I've been fighting through the budget season for a sustainable road plan, one which would increase overall spending on roads by at least $2 million annually. That means we'll have to make some tough choices together, but infrastructure is blocking and tackling for municipalities. And if we can't get that right, then we have no business doing trick plays. Finally, I believe that this is the last level of government where constituents can have a direct line to their representative. I take that duty seriously and make myself extremely accessible. My wife may say too accessible. And in the 5th District, my priority has been helping start neighborhood organizations and being out, talking to folks. 5th District residents who've had the chance to meet me know that all they need to do is pick up the phone and call or text. And whether it's a pothole, a missed trash pickup, a public safety item, I'm on the phone or emailing a director or department head that same day and following up to make sure that their concern is taken seriously. I represent the South Side on the South Bend Common Council, and with the people of the South Side's help, I will represent them with a voice that is louder than ever for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we now turn to our final candidate of the evening, Council District 6 candidate Sheila Nice. And Sheila is running
As a Democrat.
as a Democrat, despite the R on your program.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening, and thank you to the American Democracy Project, IUSB, and the League of Women Voters of South Bend for hosting tonight's meeting. My name is Sheila Nice. I'm a Democrat running for the 6th District Common Council seat. I have lived in the 6th District for 20 years now. I am a veteran of foreign war. I served during Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, while service in the United States Army. I am currently the office manager at Nice Plumbing It's a union plumbing shop that was established in our community since 1922. I share the responsibility, along with my husband, David, of running our family-owned business. I am extremely excited to be running for this seat. I believe that I have the tools that can help it grow and thrive in our neighborhoods. I also deeply believe in the mission statement that the Common Council has, and that is to make certain that our city government is always responsive to the needs of our residents, and that the betterment of South Bend is always our highest priority. I stated this in the primary, and I state it now, because I really believe in that statement, and I want to try and serve that statement to the best of my ability if I'm elected. So I'm running for the South Bend seat because I really want to serve the residents of the district. If elected on the council, I'll be just one of good common sense. I'll strive to help our local businesses grow, and I will look to bring new, good-paying jobs to the 6th District. Through the years, I have been very active in our community, working to register voters in schools and at public events, supporting organizations like La Casa de Amistad, Habitat for Humanity, Rebuilding Together, the Flag Education Program through the American Legion, which I was a commander of Post 284 of, Water for People, and numerous other organizations within our community. So I believe I do have the skills as a businesswoman and the background to help our neighborhoods thrive, and specifically the 6th District. My primary focus will be on development for affordable homes in the district. I understand the process of building, permits, easements, utilities, and start to finish construction projects. I also believe in local jobs for local workers. We have to engage the residents in these projects. With that being said, I really feel it's all about our families, and our neighborhoods thrive when families feel that their voices are being heard. So I hope I have the opportunity to work with you and share in the progress that I believe is possible within the 6th District and the city of South Bend. So tonight, I'm asking for your support and for your vote on November the 5th. Thank you for your time, and thank you for attending this forum this evening.
Thank you so much, Sheila, and thank you to all of our candidates and to those of you who joined us this evening. The League of Women Voters and the American Democracy Project would like to encourage everybody to go to indianavoters.com to check their registration status, and also encourage your neighbors and friends to check their status and make sure that they are in fact registered before Monday, October 7th, so that they are able to participate in the November 5th election. We hope to see all of you tomorrow evening at IU South Bend in 1001 Wycamp Hall for the mayoral candidate debate featuring Democrat James Mueller and Republican Sean Haas, who you heard from a little bit as a sneak peek this evening. We also hope to see you in Wycamp Hall on October 10th for the Common Council Forum for contested district candidates, and on the 15th for the at-large candidate forum. In addition, we would encourage you in the next few days to go to vote411.org, where you can read more about our candidates and where they stand on critical issues. Thank you all for being here, and those who are here live with us, please join us for a reception and a time to chat one-on-one with the candidates. Thank you all, and good evening, and thank you to our hosts, the St. Joseph County Public Library. And if you have suggestions for us, we will take your surveys. If you want to be on an email list, include your email. Thank you.